to the channel, and if you're new here, thanks so much for joining. Today I am bringing you some Notsoberry meets current household updates. And if you aren't part of the Raven family, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. That way you can join in on the Raven family fun. And if you hit that notification bell, it will notify you when new videos go live on the channel. So as you can see, Harkin is just playing a little bit with his little dinosaur while Mom gets a little bit of much needed shut-eye. And is he not just the most precious thing you have ever seen in your entire bloody life? Because honestly, I think he's absolutely precious. So let's just go ahead and go over a little bit of things that you guys have missed. So as we know, this is the Notsoberry Challenge, and we know that for the Notsoberry Challenge, Mom is a scientist and has to collect the elements, master her mischief, master her logic, and she needs to gather all of those elements and get to the top of the scientist career. So currently, right now, she is working well on her way. She has about 3 elements, I believe, left that she needs to find. And she was working her way up her career ladder, and she decided that she wanted to go ahead and adopt a kitten. And so what had happened was she called to adopt a kitten, and the adoption gentleman came to the house with the kitten, and it was for Butter. That's the name of the kitten that we adopted. And lo and behold, they kind of had a little bit of a tryst. There was a little bit of an attraction there, and they autonomously decided to go and woohoo. That woohoo resulted in Harkin. And these two are not romantically involved whatsoever. They don't even really have much of a friendship. They met one time. She adopted a cat from him. It resulted in a baby. Since then, he has come over a couple of times, and they have tried to become friends, but their relationship is what I would not call a relationship. Like, they can't even really become friends. Like, it's really, really hard to even get them to be friends. You know how in The Sims sometimes you have those relationships that are almost like pulling teeth? That is the relationship that she has with Harkin's dad. So I'm sure that we will see Harkin's dad, but he is not going to be involved. So she is going to be raising Harkin by herself. And so it will just be Arabella and Harkin and little Butter. But, I mean, that's okay. So I am just going to go ahead and get Arabella up. We are going to go ahead and let her go to the washroom and get a bath. She does have some needs that need to be taken care of. As you can see, Harkin's needs are fantastic. He had gone to daycare, and so his needs are pretty good. Speaking of Butter, there's our little Butter now asleep on the couch. And it does look like Harkin could use a little bit of food, so we will go ahead and get Arabella to just give Harkin a little bit of food. And so she'll go in there and put him in the high chair and give him a little bit of breakfast. That way he can get fed. But just, I mean, honestly, guys, he's so precious. Honestly, he's just so precious, that little boy. He's going to go over and love on his teddy bear. And Mom's just going to give Harkin a bowl of cereal there. That way he'll have some breakfast here. And she's sending off these elements to the Geo Council because she had a whole lot in her inventory from when she went to work on her last shift. And so, yeah, maybe I was incorrect in saying that she had all but 3, but when she sends all of these off, yeah, she fills almost the entire board up with these. Look at him, he's like, Mom, this is so good. Oh, maybe it was applesauce she gave him. Either way, it's quite messy, and he's a messy eater, so there's that. I think more's going on the floor than in his mouth, and Butter's like, thank you so much for giving me a little bit of food because I was needing that as well. And she's like, are you done already? Okay, because, like, I don't think you ate a whole lot, but that's fine. All right, big boy, up you go. Okay. Okay, so everything has been sent off to the Geo Council, and I am hoping that, like I said, everything does come back, and she almost fills up the entire board. And we'll look and see where she's at with her career, but I know that she's well on working her way up the career ladder. I don't think she's very far up. I think she's only at level 2 or maybe 3 at this point in time. And so she's currently just on the computer, and she is working on some of her mischief and things like that. She likes to go in here and work on her mischief. I am going to go ahead and calmly tell him not to make a mess in the house because we don't want him making all of these messes. And then we are going to go ahead and love on Butter because we want Butter to be loved on as well, because we like to give Butter as much love as possible. Yeah. We love our cat. Yes, we do. Yeah, so currently we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 missing. But after we send these off to the Geo Council when they come back, we have 3 that we're missing. And I am just going ahead and getting a toddler potty because I forgot to get him a toddler potty so that we can go ahead and potty train him. And we'll just stick this right here next to his teddy bear chair. That way we can get Harkin potty trained as well. So we'll actually go ahead and start doing that now. And she's like having to clean up all these messes that he's made, but you know, that's the life of that's the life of being a single mom. It's only you here to do everything. She's like, come on, Harkin, let's go ahead and go in here and try to go potty in the big boy potty, okay? He's like, oh, okay. And I'm supposed to sit on this? She's like, yep, you sit down. And then you're going to go try to pee-pee in the potty. And he's like, I don't pee-pee in my pants? He's like, nope, you're going to pee-pee in the hole in the potty. And he's like, okay. She's like, you can do it. He's looking at it like, this is very different. She's like, it's the same thing that Mommy does in the big potty. You're going to do it in the little potty for Harkin size. He's like, okay, Mommy. I'll just sing until it has to come out, okay? And she's like, you do what you got to do. That's fine. She's like, I know you can do this, though, Harkin. I know you can. You're such a smart big boy. And she's feeling so tense. The poor thing. She is so proud of him, though. I think that she's just like, they grow up so fast. And she's just so proud of him and all that he's doing. And there he goes. He's doing it. He's being such a good boy. Oh no, he made an accident. Okay, so he's gonna be a little sad about that. Yeah, Mom's gonna have to clean that mess up. Okay, clean that mess up, Arabella. Like, she's like disgusted with it. She's like, ugh, that was not at all what I had intended when I told him to go in the potty. Like, how did he make this mess? How did he even miss? Alright, so I'm going to get her to go in here into the kitchen. She's going to just cook them a nice meal, and that way they'll have supper ready. So again, she is a vegetarian, so she does want to make sure that she has nice options available for them. And as you can see, she is very, very tense. She does not have enough fun in her life. So hopefully after she's done cooking, she can get a little bit of fun so that she's less tense. And it's also Harvestfest, so once she's done making the cornbread and the collard greens, I am going to go ahead and get her just to make the turkey. Oh, what's wrong? Okay, well, don't cry. It's Harvestfest, and we are going to be happy on Harvestfest. We're going to celebrate Harvestfest together as a family. It'll be okay. So Mom's just going to comfort him and just be like, oh, that's right, he's sad because he made a pee-pee accident. She's like, it's okay, Harkin, these things happen. People have accidents when they're just learning. Mommy's not mad. Okay, so she's made some collard greens and cornbread. I'm just going to put that here up on the shelf so that it doesn't get bad and... Okay. Or in the fridge, that's fine. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to cook a Harvestfest meal. So I think I'll have her make the turkey and we may make a couple of side dishes. First, they're going to have a little bit of playtime so she can make Harkin feel better after he had his little, potty accident there because he's feeling really sad about it. She's like, Harkin, it's really okay. Look, let's just play for a little while. Mommy will make you feel better. Okay, so now she's going to work on the grand meal portion of the Harvestfest meal, and then we will also work on the side dishes, and we'll just have ourselves a big, nice family meal here that we can celebrate our Harvestfest stuff. Obviously, Harkin doesn't really care about the Harvestfest stuff, but Arabella does, and so we will make sure that we have us a nice Harvestfest together as a family. It is just the three of us, and Butter, but we will want to make sure that we do have us a nice holiday because it is our first holiday as a little family. And as you can see, Harkin is just loving on Butter and being like imitating Butter and loving Butter's, I think these two would be great friends. And she's like, Harkin, honey, you're underfoot. And he's like, Mommy, I'm playing with Butter. She's like, I understand. Sota. So that is actually Harkin's dad. So I guess if he wants to come over, we'll let him come over. And he is obviously a little bit cranky, but we do want him to get a meal in his tummy before he goes to bed. And this Harvestfest meal is just about done cooking, so maybe we'll just go ahead and just have this instead of making a bunch of sides, and we'll just call it a day after making the Harvestfest meal. So we'll go ahead and we'll call everyone to a meal, and Sota is here and cleaning up for us, which we love. So we'll go ahead and call everyone to the meal. Don't put him to bed, okay? Let's let him eat first. Call everybody to the meal and then we'll eat first. Okay, watch out, Butter. Let's call everyone to the meal.
Yoo-hoo! Bambili!
Yeah, and then we'll eat. And Soda's like, I thought you were a vegetarian. And she's like, what are you talking about? And he's like, isn't this turkey? And she's like, oh, crap. And yes, I accidentally forgot that she made a turkey and not a tofurkey. So I totally screwed up. And now she's feeling sick. So now she's ill on Thanksgiving because I had her make a turkey and not a tofurkey. Because I completely forgot that she's a vegetarian. He's like, well, it's delicious. And she's like, it's something. She's like, I'm glad you're enjoying it. And he's like, you've cooked it, so you might as well eat it. She's like, ugh, I feel sick and I violated my morals. Harkin's like, it's delicious. So as you can see, these two have a lot of romance together because they had woohooed and things like that, right? But they have zero friendship and they don't get along. And the more they're around each other, the worse it kind of gets because they don't really have anything in common. They just don't. They're attracted to one another in the sense that they find each other attractive, but there's nothing to sustain that. And they have nothing in common. They're not friendly with one another. Anytime they try to do friendly interactions, they have negative things that kind of happen, and so they just don't get on. And so it's unfortunate because well, look at that little precious bean, and they've got a child together, and they don't get on at all. Not to say that they have to be together because they have a child together, because that's not the case at all, but obviously they should at least be able to get along, being that they're co-parenting. But that's obviously not the case. So it is what it is. But we'll have to see how their relationship goes, because unfortunately, you know, it is what it is. And she is very, very sick. I have made her very, very sick. And she is very tired, but I do want to go ahead and appease the gnomes, because that is part of the tradition. She did go ahead and make the grand meal. We aren't going to be decorating for Harvestfest, because I'm not going to get all those decorations out and all of that. But we will go ahead and we will appease the gnomes and see if we can go ahead and get that checked off. And hopefully that will at least get enough things checked off to where she'll have a decent Harvestfest. And then I think I'm going to actually just let her go on and head to bed, because there's no sense in her staying up and passing out on the floor. And I know that Sota is here, but well, he can just see himself out whenever he's done. So all of the gnomes have gone ahead and been appeased. The pizza delivery boy has just let himself into our house like he owns the place, which I hate. So we're going to go ahead and tell him he needs to leave. So please leave our house. We don't know you. Thank you kindly. And I will probably have to lock our front door to people outside of our household, because I hate it when that happens. But yeah. And she also does not do the tradition of being thankful, because she's a mischievous sim. So we won't be being thankful to anyone. I'm just going to let her get some rest, and then it will be over with. But she does need to go ahead and go to the washroom, because I've made her sick. So I will go ahead and let her get her rest, and then she'll get up and go ahead and go to the washroom. But I do think overall her Harvestfest was a success. She was able to get a, grand meal cooked and served to everyone in the family. Sota came over and spent some time with his son, and that was lovely. I'm getting a different bed here because Harkin is exhausted but wasn't able to sleep in that one for whatever reason, so he never laid down and went to sleep. So I'm going to get him a different toddler bed so that he can get some rest, because he just sat there and never did sleep the entire time. So we're going to get him this little octopus bed, because it is just bloody adorable and I love that. And he's got little submarines and sailboats on his wall, and so I think that's just really fitting that he get the octopus bed. So we'll get him that little octopus bed to go with his bedroom stuff, and we'll get him into bed so he can get a little bit of rest. And yeah, so I think her Harvestfest overall was a success. Harkin could really care less. He's a toddler, and he just was happy that he got to eat. And he doesn't really care that his dad came over either, because he doesn't really know his dad, nor does he care. So the only thing he really cares about is that he has his mom and he had his food, and that's really all he cares about. And so Harkin is happy as a lark. So he's gonna go ahead and get some sleep, and we are gonna go ahead and let Arabella head herself to the bathroom, because she desperately needs to go to the washroom, and then she needs to get herself some rest, because she is straight up shattered, truly. And Sota, whatever, I guess he's just gonna sit there and play on the computer, and then he'll leave whenever he's ready. But I am gonna go ahead, I think, and fast forward through and let her get some rest, and then I will catch back with you guys when she wakes up. Oh, she actually is going to go and check the mail. So it does look like our mail has been delivered. So before I put her into bed, she's going to check the mail. So we should have our collectibles back from the Geo Council, so we'll be able to check and see what all we did receive. And this is where I do believe we find out that we only have 3 that we're lacking. Yeah, absolutely. So we have a whole bunch here in our inventory, and we're going to pop those into the table while she goes ahead and goes to bed. So I'm going to tuck her into bed. I will throw those elements into the table, and then I will catch back with you guys when she wakes in the morning. Okay, so as you can see, we do have 3 more that we're missing, and she is still asleep, but I just wanted to show you that we are still missing the 3. Okay, so Arabella is up for the day, and she just needs to go ahead and go to work, or she's decided and opted to go to work. And it is a holiday, but she's decided that she's going to go to work for the rest of the shift. Sota is here, and so he can watch Harkin while she's away. But because he doesn't live here, it has sent Harkin to daycare, but she needs to get a little bit of work in while she can. And so she's gone to work on her holiday to get a little bit of extra work in. She is a bit of a workaholic, so you will notice that she does that from time to time. So she did get a little bit of extra boost of her performance there, and so she is a little bit energized from that. And now she's back, and she's like, "You're still here?" And he's like, "Well, I was just playing on the computer." And she's like, "Don't you have a life?" So she's just loving on Harkin, and she's just like, "Hi, sweet boy, how was daycare?" But as you can see, they don't really speak to one another. They don't really have anything that they have in common, and it is kind of awkward silence whenever Sota is around. Like, they don't really have a whole lot that they can really do. Other than, like, whenever he was around, really all they did was go to bed. And she doesn't really want to do that. Like, she's not really that much into him. So she's gone to, she's like, "I'm going to go ahead and go for a jog. I don't really want to be around when you're here." Like, she understands that he maybe wants to spend time with his son, but that doesn't necessarily mean that she wants to spend time with him. So she's decided that she's going for a jog. But he has left, and Harkin is now in bed. So she's going to go ahead and head on back home now that Sota has decided to leave. And she was just on the phone and I guess had a little bit of an aggravating phone conversation. And so now she's a little bit angry. So there's that. So she's going to go ahead and go back into the house and get herself a bath to try to calm herself down. But Harvestfest now is really technically officially over. I mean, there is a couple of hours left. It goes until about 2 a.m., but it really technically is about over. And to be completely honest, there's not a whole lot left that there, for her to do. And so that being said, I think I am going to go ahead and wrap this update episode up, and hopefully you guys have enjoyed seeing our Arabella and Harkin in this update episode, and I will see you guys in the next one. And until then, I am going to go ahead and fly for now. Bye, Ravens.